We are here progressing through the NFL postseason at the conference championships for this weekend. I am 5 for 5 in the playoffs, so I'm at 500. Let's see if I can choose this week correctly on these conference championship games. First up is the AFC. We have the Patriots at the Broncos. I am choosing the Broncos plus 5.5, even without a quarterback. And Bo Nix, who had just had ankle surgery. I am still taking the points and the spread with the Broncos and with that defense because I am expecting the backup quarterback and Jarrett Stidham to be decent. We do not need a Bo Nix performance here. We do not need elite quarterback play here. You just need to be decent and clean and efficient. That's all you need to be. Do not turn the ball over. Do not push things. Just be a game manager, and the Broncos should be okay in this game. Maybe one drive where you do need to push the ball and get some points, but that should be expected for an NFL level quarterback here. And the reason for that is because he's been with the Broncos since last year when Sean Payton joined the team. So he knows the system. He's not new to it. And he's been with Sean Payton and with that offensive system for 2 years now. So it's not going to be anything new to him. And plus, that is something I expect Sean Payton and others on that Broncos team to kind of tell him, is that he doesn't need to be special here. He just has to not turn the ball over and be a game manager. That's really all they're asking for him. He needs to be a Davis Mills. When Davis Mills came in for CJ Stroud in the regular season for the Texans and got some wins because they have such a great defense. And we saw it with the Texans and the Patriots in that game. If the Texans just took care of the ball, they very well could have won that game against the Patriots. So that's something they're going to drill into the mind of Jarrett Stidham. Is tell him that you do not need to be special. You do not need to be crazy or push things. You just need to be a game manager and point to that Patriots and Texans game and say, just don't turn the ball over and you should be okay. The Patriots, on the other hand, they are young and they can still make mistakes. We know the potential they have. We know the coach they have. We know all those great things. I'm a fan of their defense as well. It's been a little bit underrated. But the Patriots are still young and can make mistakes. There were a lot of fumbles by Drake May in that game against the Texans, and the Patriots have been playing some great defenses in these playoffs. The Chargers, then the Texans, and then now the Broncos. So there's this absolute gauntlet of things that they have to play through, and it could take a toll on that offensive, offensive line and just offense in general. And they're still young, so they could still make these mistakes and do these turnovers when that's something that they need to clean up. So here I am just playing toward the spread and that 5.5 points. And I still think the Patriots will win this game because they have the solid defense, but then also the offensive prowess, at least compared to the Broncos now without Bo Nix. But my score prediction for this game is a little bit low, 20-17 Patriots, but I think the Broncos will be able to cover the spread with that 5.5 points. Heading over to the NFC, this should be an absolute showdown, and it should be quite interesting as well. We have some coaching minds going at it for the third time this season. We have the Rams at the Seahawks, -2.5. This is a game that a lot of people have been kind of looking forward to ever since they matched up, even the first time in the regular season, and that was a absolutely heavyweight matchup then. It is a heavyweight matchup now. And the big thing here is really how healthy is Sam Darnold going to be? I think he is going to be fine. He played fine in the 49ers game, but he didn't really need to do much. He just obliterated them on special teams and running the ball. The Seahawks did lose Zach Charbonnet, their running back, to an ACL tear, unfortunately, so he is out for the game. But I have full belief on Kenneth Walker III and his ability to carry the run game in this game. And I kind of think the Seahawks will aim to win this game on the ground with Kenneth Walker, even though they do not have Zach Charbonnet anymore. I think that is something they'll want to do because they do not want to necessarily put a lot of touches or rely a lot on Sam Darnold in this game, mainly because in the first meetup, the Seahawks had 4 turnovers, all from Sam Darnold, I believe, and they lost 21-19 in that first meetup. The second meetup, the Seahawks had 3 turnovers, but they won the game by 1 point, 38-37. So the story here is that with the roster that the Seahawks have, the defense and the defensive scheme that the Seahawks are running is more than capable enough to kind of limit this Rams offense and limit what they're able to do. I also think that the Rams going through this kind of cold weather matchup against the Bears and having a kind of close game against the Panthers, I think they're a little bit banged up now. I see it a little bit with Puka Nacua whenever he's out there on plays. He still gets hit a lot during these playoff games. So I think that's just stacking up on this already a very long regular season going into the postseason. I think that's stacking up. I'm not saying people are going to get injured during this game. I'm just thinking they're not running off 100% versus the Seahawks that got a bye and got a very favorable divisional round win and game against the 49ers in which they absolutely blew them out. So I think the Seahawks are a lot fresher and a lot more ready for this game than the Rams are, at least physically. But we'll see what the coaches are able to do. One worry I do have in choosing the Seahawks here is that Sean McVay kind of admitted to the press that he did not do well offensively versus the Bears. So you can kind of expect a great showing here and him putting his head down and doing some great things schematically and offensively in this game. So I do expect this to be a little bit of a shootout and leaning a little bit into Sam Darnold, but that's something that I think the Seahawks will aim to limit because of Sam Darnold's injury, and then also trying to limit those turnovers and limit the kind of pressure that Sam Darnold will feel in this game. I think that's kind of the foundation that the Seahawks want to do, is the less pressure that's on Sam Darnold, the more likely they are going to win this game. Not that Sam Darnold can't do it, but because sometimes in these big moments, Sam Darnold can kind of feel that pressure a little bit too much. So I can see this easily going either way, Rams or Seahawks, but I'm choosing the Seahawks -2.5 here. Also, just a little bit of a bias here because when I was growing up, in terms of the cultural kind of impact that the Seahawks defense had at that time was the Legion of Boom. I was a big fan of that. And then my favorite running back of all time was Marshawn Lynch. So I cannot go against the Seahawks here. I'm choosing the Seahawks -2.5. Let me know what you think about these championship games. Who is going to make it to the Super Bowl? And I'll see you for the recap.